19. Bat soup, no longer on the menu. I'll give you a little inside information about biological and chemical warfare. And in 1937 to 1945, the Japanese unit 731 did experiments on bubonic plague and other chemical weapons using live Chinese people, Russians, and American prisoners of war. What they did was they infected rats with bubonic plague and then had fleas eat the rats so that the fleas had bubonic plague. They used a clay bomb to drop on villages so that they couldn't use explosives, otherwise it would kill the fleas. So they dropped these clay bombs on villages. Then they would go in a couple of days after, who were not dead and dying. They'd open them up, not giving them anesthetic or anything, just vivisection, cutting them open to see the progress of the bubonic plague on the human body. They also did live experiments in the laboratories. The victims were called logs. So these American airmen were brought in, they were given the plague, and then without anesthetic, tied down to a table, they were cut open, ribs drawn apart, so they can see the progress of the plague on the internal organs. This unit was never punished after the war because they give all the experimental information to the Americans. So even though they killed American POWs in a horrific way, they never got punished. So really that was the start of biological and chemical warfare experiments. Later on, America dropped low-level radiation on an American city to see the consequences on the population. Britain was also involved in experiments. There's an island off Scotland that they dropped biological weapons on. Can't remember the name of it, anthrax. So they were using anthrax. There was an experimental place in Portadown or something like that, where soldiers could volunteer to be used as live guinea pigs. You go down, you get some stuff injected into you, and you'd spend 2 weeks there, then you get 2 weeks holiday and double pay. So men used to volunteer to go down and be experimented on. There was a member of Tupara, I saw him, and he didn't have a hair on his body. All his hair was gone, his eyebrows, even his nose, in his nose he had no hair, on his chest, pubic area, nothing. So after seeing what happened to him on these live experiments, I don't think anybody volunteered again. But anyway, America, China, everybody experiments nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. And we say that the idea, if you've got a biological weapon that you can use, and you've got the only antidote to it, you're on a winner. So, the new virus out, number 19. In my local restaurant, number 19, bat soup has been taken off the menu. They still have live little rats that you can dip in a sauce and drop down your throat, but bat soup is off the menu. Now, how did this virus spread? See how sudden it went all the way around the world. It's even got to the Falkland Islands and other little remote places around the world. How has it happened? Nobody's dropped a clay bomb and infected people. My theory is this, that I'd like to know how many dead Chinese or infected Chinese are there in each country. because they left China with the virus. So a lot of Chinese embassy officials and people that work in communist Chinese shops, which are stationed in every town and city throughout the world, they're all employed by the Chinese Communist Party. How many of them are dead? Can anybody go down and have a look, please? Go and visit the Chinese graveyards. How many dead bodies have been put in there in the last 3 months? There must be hundreds of them when you think about it, because they brought the disease from China. Now, my theory is, it wasn't in the body, but it was in the pocket. If them Chinese graveyards are not full, if there's no Chinese in hospital suffering and dying from coronavirus 19, something's going on. So it's just my theory of a dumb soldier who with a little bit of experience about biological and chemical warfare. I'm saying my role in the SAS was to go by Russian lines and destroy Scud missiles with nuclear warheads, biological warheads, and chemical warheads. And I asked the dumb question to my officer. I says, how far do I have to get away from a Scud missile before, for safety reasons, when it explodes? Don't ask stupid questions, Mumford. I didn't think it was a stupid question. And the other question I asked is, how are we going to get back to our lines? Don't ask stupid questions. In other words, it was a kamikaze mission like Bravo 20. I mean, say, sent behind enemy lines without radio and backup. I mean, say, that was an embarrassing, most embarrassing story I ever heard as an ex-SAS soldier. And the fact is, I was in Bravo 20, which was boat company, B Squadron. So, really embarrassing. But I'd like to know about all these poor Chinese in every country that must be dying or dead. Can everybody have a look and see how many are in the graveyard, please? Because I'm really suspicious. It wasn't a bomb, was it? But it now got round the world very quick.